Needs some work. Bluetooth speaker DOSS SoundBox XL home speaker with subwoofer 30-12 loud sound with booming bass. DSP technology wireless stereo pairing 10 Playtime speaker for home, indoor, and office. This product is sold by DOSS. Make sure this fits by entering your model number. 30-12 impressive sound enhanced with dual 10 full range drivers, a 12 subwoofer, and DSP technology. This DOSS SoundBox XL speaker delivers a room-filling sound with rich bass, tight mids, and crystal clear highs. Saturate a large room with incredible sound at a loud volume. Booming bass, powered by a 12 subwoofer and dual passive radiators, the DOSS bass boosted speaker enhances lower frequencies and creates impactful bass with minimal distortion. Feel and hear the beat with heavy bass around you. Wireless stereo pairing. Get things booming with party. Pair two SoundBox XL wireless speakers together for immense stereo sound and double volume. Notes: the new version cannot pair with the old version speaker with no less than 179 or with version ID 1 on the bottom. 10 hours playtime. The built-in Lion 2600 mAh rechargeable battery ensures up to 10 hours of playtime at 50 volume. Keep the hits last all day long. Recharge in just 34 hours with included power adapter. Multiple connectivity equipped with Bluetooth 4.0 technology. Enjoy seamless music up to 33 feet. Also, you can play music with a 3.5 Lightning cable not supplied or micro SD card not provided. Streamlined design. With the simplicity of the design, make this speaker complement any style of home or office no matter where you put it. Get deep, rich sound throughout your home office and on the go. 4.4 out of 5 stars. The item has a total of 7,420 reviews. Product linked in the description below. The first review is from Handy. Needs some work. 2.0 out of 5 stars. First, let's start with the size. It's quite large at 12 wide by 5 tall. I spent a month digging through every video and review I could find about this speaker before I finally made the plunge, but somehow this particular aspect of this speaker never seemed to make it to the list of things to talk about, and of course I did not actually look. I'm not sure if this was missed or that this is the way they all come. Would greatly benefit from a felt bag or some sort of protective case. My final thoughts. If they would put some sort of rubber casing, even a slip-on shell, and fix the grill with some fabric, this speaker would be better suited for outside use and look much better, and I would have paid more for it. As is, it's more suitable for inside on-the-go music for maybe your office or such. Also, having the sound buttons have either a different indent or placement would greatly help in finding them, since they are in the middle of the buttons, and you have to look to see which one is which. I work in a controlled area, and I actually found a zip-up bag at my local second-hand store that fit this speaker perfectly for only $150. So now when I'm carrying it around from location to location, it does not get all mucked up with dust or get dinged or scratched up. Bass reproduction is absolutely amazing at low to almost 34 high volume on almost all the music I tested, but the lows come out much better if the speaker is placed in a corner. When putting it in some places in the house, the lows almost disappeared. But I did notice some dings and scratches on the edges of the button bezel that were likely due to manufacture issues. So speaker placement is important. If they could fix the issue with the highs, this speaker would be freaking awesome. Many thanks to the reviewers for all their input, and especially to Loves Gadgets. Truly the best speaker reviewer on the internet. Update 81,119. Sadly, I had to send this speaker back. The missing highs and the narrow sound stage was just too much for me. The speaker had a canned sound that I just could not get past, no matter how much I loved the lows. Hopefully, they will read this and perhaps even find someone that can tune the speaker better for them. Till then, I cannot recommend this speaker to anyone. Update 81,919. So for a little over $20 more I purchased the Anker Soundcore Motion, and I can without any reservation at all say that this is what the DOSS should have been. Clear highs, even better bass without the muddiness. Since this part is very shiny and reflects quite a bit of light, this took away from the new feel, but was not in any way a deal breaker. USB-C 2. 0 amp charging. 6,700 mAh battery with 12-hour playtime. Nice rubber casing with a better grill. Easy to find volume buttons. The thing blew me away. This was Olov's pick of the year, by the way. The DOSS folks need to buy one of these and compare their sound with it. I think it would really help them to get the sound on the DOSS right. The next small issue is the black high-gloss frame around the grill and back. This border is so glossy that it attracts all sorts of dust and hair. I found myself wiping it off many times just in the first hour of playing with it. The third minor issue is the grill. It picks up every little bit of oil from your fingers. If you pick this unit up, in the only real way to hold it, your fingers will press against the grill. When you set it back down, there is a very dark smudge where your fingers were. To the average viewer, it seems smaller in size in the videos. It is very noticeable and could be easily remedied by using a fabric cover instead of the semi-gloss paint. I think this would also give the unit a much more pleasing visual presentation and allow it to compete better with other portable speakers in its class. The unit is charged with a proprietary 12-volt 5 amp round plug charging adapter. This has some benefits and drawbacks. The benefit is that it will charge much faster than a typical USB charger. The drawback is that you will need to keep this charger with you in case you need it. That can be an issue if you don't have a bag to carry it in. The plug felt snug and should provide a long life as long as it is not dropped or banged while plugged in. So how does it sound? Let's start with the sound stage. It seems very well constructed, and unlike many of the older reviews, it does not have the vibration issue that plagued these in the beginning. This is the feel of the sound and how wide the music coming out of the speaker feels when listening to it. The DOSS XL does not have a very wide sound stage at all. For example, I have a Go Groove Sonoverse UBR sound bar on my monitor for my computer. This is not a very high-end sound bar, but does have a good sound stage that allows you to feel like you're not listening to your music in an audio tunnel. When listening to the DOSS, it seems very narrow in its sound stage. In fact, you can test this yourself by simply closing your eyes and then taking the speaker and putting it a few inches from your face, playing it on low. When you do this, the sound stage is like it should be. But as you move the speaker farther from your face, the sound stage starts to collapse, and by the time you're arm's length away, it sounds like it's coming only from the middle. This severely dampens the stereo effect, the sound quality. In fact, the foam pad that at first was simply floating in the grill and then later glued to the grill has now been removed altogether, and I think that this was probably the best way to fix the issue. To be honest, after a boatload of reviews of this speaker, I had some pretty high expectations, and when I played my first songs on the speaker from my phone, I use a paid music app called Power Amp. It is very powerful and versatile app, and on my Sony 600's headphones it rocks like no tomorrow. But on the DOSS this was not the case, no matter what I did to make it come out better, whether using Bluetooth or the headphone jack 2.0 input. One thing I did notice after using this speaker for a day or two is that if you have your phone volume up to 100, the preamp in the speaker starts to distort and the speaker sounds really bad. If you turn the phone volume down to 80, then that distortion goes away. I'm not sure if this is an issue with certain types of phones or a bigger issue with the preamp in the speaker. I found that it did this only when using Bluetooth or the headphone jack 2.0. Since the volume on the speaker is separate from the phone volume, you could turn the speaker volume up to max and then use the phone volume to control the volume. The buttons are very tactile and they actually took a bit of pressure to respond to my choices. On the SD card it plays very clean at any volume. But my real reason for buying this speaker was for the TF card reader, or micro SD card reader. I use this speaker at work, and I don't keep my phone with me when working, so I needed a speaker that would play off of a microSD card, and not many portable speakers come with this option, so my options are limited. So I loaded a bunch of tunes on the SD card and let it rip. The highs are still pretty muddy even with some very good quality songs. At this point, it's obvious that this is a tuning issue inside the speaker itself. Even when using the phone through the headphone jack, it still would not allow anything above 8. I think if they had made the tweeters angle a bit to the outside of the speaker and adjusted the internal EQ, this would fix both the sound stage and sound issue. I took the speaker all over the house and tried different angles and placements. Putting it in a corner amplified the lows considerably, but also muddied them just a bit. For instance, the volume keys on my unit did not actually work very well at first. Overall, I was much more pleased with the sound out of the SD card than the Bluetooth, but all three suffer from muddy highs. Also, once past around 1234 volume, the bass tends to fade a bit, and you lose those rich lows. I guess this is to be expected though. My guess is that this is done to keep it from distorting at high volumes, and also a way to give more battery life. I have only 3 real complaints about this speaker, and one has to do with your choice of input. When you turn the DOSS on, it automatically goes into Bluetooth pairing every time, even if you were using the SD card or the O plug-in for your source. The minute you turn off the speaker and turn it back on, the speaker does not remember your last input setting and again tries to pair with my phone. And of course my phone prompts me every time it tries to do this. So every time I turn this speaker on, I have to wait for it to start pairing before I can hit the mode button to change it to the SD card input. I needed to press quite firmly to get them to respond, but after doing that to all the buttons, it seemed to do much better and now does not require the firm press. Thankfully though, it does remember what song I was playing last and continues to play from that point. Second issue is the rubber feet. Seriously, guys and gals at DOSS. This speaker has some really good bass and will move around at higher volumes. Put some bigger feet with some better grip on the bottom of this thing. The ones that are on there are only a ½ inch square and are so recessed into the plastic as to almost make them useless. I took the advice from another reviewer and purchased the SoftTouch Self-Stick Ninslip Surface Grip Pads, 6 pieces, 1x4 strip black S from Amazon when ordering this speaker, and that fixed that issue. Third issue, and this is the biggest, is the clear lack of good high-end sound 8 and above. It really hurts the music and also the sound stage. I can clearly tell most of the hi-hats and cymbals are being muffled and chopped out. Appearance is simple and has some small issues. I did a side-by-side comparison with my low-end speaker bar with the same songs, and even my wife. I truly believe that if they fixed these 3 issues, that this speaker would be almost unbeatable and worth more money. So the pros and cons here. Pros: awesome sub-lows reproduction. You will never get anything better in this size anywhere. Good weight to keep it from going anywhere if you use the pads. Visually appealing but a bit dated in style. Battery life is around 8 hours with fast battery charging. Around 23 hours for 8 hours of playtime at 12 volume. Incredible bass reproduction, yes again. First, there wasn't any protection film on the button bar on my unit. This is where this speaker really shines. It's like having a small subwoofer. Cons: easily marred by fingerprints, dirt and dust. This is not your dirty area speaker. Not water or dust resistant in any way. Do not use if you think it will get wet. No USB charging. High-end sound is very muddy and was almost a deal killer for me. Update was a deal killer for me. Does not remember input settings when powered up. Rubber feet are a joke. From the brand previous page, boom, bold, sound on the go. Massive outdoor sound and powerful bass with less distortion. Bluetooth speakers visit the store. Party speakers visit the store. Waterproof. We have focused on the innovation of audio products and made continuing efforts to provide legendary sound for the past years. What makes our products unique? DOSS remains competitive in the audio industry as a professional worldwide design team from the United States, Canada, and Germany. Why do we love what we do? Next page. Product linked in the description below. Our first question is from Vrar. DOSS SoundBox XLOR Riva Turbo X. Which one has a better sound quality? As I have only listened to reviews on the Riva Turbo X and Riva S, I can only speak to what I learned from those reviews, but I do own the DOSS SoundBox XL. I also own a Definitive Technology Cube and JBL Charge 3. I also own a Definitive Technology Cube and JBL Charge 3. The Cube plays slightly louder, but the audio quality is very similar. Now, the Cube is a 200,300 speaker as the DOSS is attainable at 90. Not bad. Sorry, back to the Riva. I believe the Riva will a bit louder than the DOSS. By bass extension is pretty good with the DOSS. The Riva S will have a more open sound with the way the drivers are arrayed, but as a more direct sound, the DOSS has actual left-right separation basis of its width and placement of the tweeters. Comparing price, the DOSS is what 100 less about than the Riva. I am agreeance about how tough the exterior is on the DOSS. Perhaps the Riva seems built more substantially, but my answer would. The overall sound quality would be the DOSS SoundBox XL. I wish I had a Riva, and next month I am buying a JBL Extreme 2. Comparing the JBL and the DOSS plays louder and with deeper bass and better separ at ion and DC more, as I have only listened to reviews on the Riva Turbo X and Riva S. I can only speak to what I learned from those reviews, but I do own the DOSS SoundBox XL. Compared to the DOSS and Cube, as I pretty much collect these speakers, I also own an LG Loud RF6, which is in a whole another category, and sound-wise dominates with 600 watts of power, but no built-in battery. Hope this helps you. The DOSS is an excellent buy. See less? Comparing the JBL and the DOSS plays louder and with deeper bass and better separ at ion and detail in the mids and highs. From an audio standpoint, the DOSS is quite a bit better. Now, the charge is more portable and is waterproof mostly and can charge devices. And the Cube and the DOSS. Harder decision, as the Cube has a 5-inch sub and several tweeters arrayed in tripolar design. Product linked in the description below. For more content like this, please subscribe and click the bell icon so you are notified of new uploads. We upload new videos every day. See you next time.